In 2019, food scarcity levels were at a 13-year low in the United States. COVID-19 not only disrupted that trend, but turned it on its head. Across the country, lines at food pantries continue to stretch longer. In fact, food banks have seen an increase in demand every quarter since the pandemic began. Welcome to Against the Grain, a series presented by Grace Farms Foundation that explores organizations working at the intersection of impact and innovation to fix our food systems. I'm Karen Karayuki, your host and the Foundation's Community Initiative Director. In March 2020, we closed to the public and pivoted our humanitarian efforts to provide thousands of nutritious meals and pantry staples to those in need. This is our story of innovation and impact during the COVID-19 crisis. Food is foundational to Grace Farms. It's woven into our architecture, ingrained in our initiatives, and central to so much of the work we do. When our CEO and founder, Sharon Prince, created Grace Farms, she envisioned a new kind of public place with open architecture that would foster community and bring diverse groups of people together around one table. In almost 6 years, that's exactly what we've seen. Families and friends and strangers alike gather at our 18-foot-long community tables in our commons to share meals or just enjoy getting to know one another. And those shared meals are an important part of our programming too, where people can pause to engage in topics related to our 5 initiatives: arts, nature, justice, community, faith, including our humanitarian work and food relief. Food, the growing of it, and how we share nutritious meals with diverse communities in need, particularly during the pandemic, has been an incredible journey. I sat down with Chef Nina Perez, our Director of Culinary Operations, who manages the day-to-day operations of our food relief efforts, to talk about this journey and why she has such a personal stake in our relief efforts.
Food is very important on elevating what we do here at Grace Farms because it's really about community. And food is always that center place where everybody can come together, enjoy each other's culture, have real conversation.
We dedicated 100% of our 1,450 square foot community garden to produce food used in our meals and turn the Commons, a community gathering place in our river building, into an operational hub to make upwards of 2,000 nutritious meals a week for Fairfield County families and individuals in need.
To connect with the architecture here and realizing how open it is, how you can flow in the space. Because of the way the Commons is built, we have a front of the house kitchen and we have a back of the house kitchen. That has really served us well because we have been able to take the staff, spread them at 6 feet apart.
When people from our partner organizations came to pick up meals and pantry items, the open architecture and glass-enclosed spaces allowed for unspoken human connection. But we sought to serve more than just a meal. In addition to the food, we began to include arts and crafts, educational activities, and creative projects for children and families. We called this Operation Joy.
So just the packets of joy that came with all of the food and the love that we put into the food has been an amazing experience, not just for us, but for them as well. Sharon was like, well, why can't we give them joy? And it's like, okay, let's do it. Let's give them joy. And it's been a great experience. And that's just one small example of what we do here.
And that personal connection is ingrained in every aspect of our food relief. Chef Nina is in daily contact with our partner organizations to understand their unique situations and make sure that the food we provide meets the needs of the organization and their communities. Listening is critical.
Every organization has a different need, and I have made it like my mission to find out what their needs are almost on a daily basis. Do you need this? Do you not need this? Am I giving you something you don't use? So that way we can always meet their need and not just assume that they need it. I grew up in a very impoverished place, and so there was a lot of food scarcity there. It was more like a food desert. We didn't have much access to great food or organic food or growing our own food for that matter. So It is really important to me that when we do these meals, that it's reaching somebody at a very personal level, but also I think about their nutrition. Their nutrition is very important to me. So what they eat, how they're eating. It's very important when I put these meals together to think about the person as a whole, because I was that person.
The pandemic put a spotlight on just how fragile our food system is, especially for our most marginalized and excluded communities. By jumping in so early during the pandemic, we were able to provide relief to those in need. We thought about how we could access all our resources, our common good, to address the overwhelming need for food. That included supporting our local farmers who were also struggling. They provided us with fresh produce, and then we dedicated our community garden to our relief efforts. Over the past year, we have harvested more than 2,000 pounds of produce from our garden, including 600 pounds of apples from the trees in our plaza, all of which go into creating these nutritious meals.
That has been a really intricate and really great part of what I do here at Grace Farms, because I always think of feeding the soul. Now I get to serve the people that used to serve me. I cannot tell you what that feels like. I couldn't even explain it, because it is life-changing. It is impactful.
At Grace Farms, we recognize that we are interconnected and that food binds us in commonality. As we seek to leverage our place and values to advance good in the world, we will continue to extend and expand upon our commitment to food sovereignty and equitable access. We will advance this work with a focus on 3 levers. First, we will continue to provide nutritious meals, fresh produce, and pantry staples for excluded populations in our community in collaboration with trusted not-for-profit partners. Second, we will educate and advocate for food sovereignty in our community. Third, we will drive new outcomes and explore scalable opportunities to address underlying challenges within our food systems. We invite you to join our effort and seek to understand the unique needs in your own communities and how you are uniquely positioned to help. As we know, no act is too small when we do them towards a shared vision. If this story of innovation and impact inspires you, please share it. The more we educate ourselves about the food systems we rely on and those working to fix them, the more we can come together to find innovative solutions. Thank you for joining us and our efforts to create a more efficient, more equitable, and more just food system.